Greetings and welcome to the 1/6 Scale Man proudly presents another episode of The Corner. Now, this is basically the Corner Black History Month episode. Now, again, we are exploring different characters, different collectibles, but I thought it was definitely feasible, worth it, that we talk about none other than Black Panther and his influence in our collecting community, but also to know the history, first appearances, what the character basically represents, and a representation again amongst the Black community in general. Black History Month, very important to basically see someone who looks like us on the silver screen, let alone have someone who looks like us in our collection. So definitely, before we jump in, let's talk about a few other things. Again, if you are new to the channel, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification so you are always up to date as to what we got going on over here on the channel. As you can see, I have my Black Panther attire on, my jacket. I'm ready to go. We're going to talk about this in just a few moments. But before we do, I want to dive in because we're going to be talking about collectibles as well. But before we actually jump into that, let's talk about the places where we can get these figures from. First and foremost, got to give a super duper shout out to my man Ray over there at Underground Figures. I'm always sounding like I'm too far away from the mic. My man Ray over there at Underground Figures. If you were looking for the latest and greatest, definitely head on over there. Sign up for that newsletter so you are always up to date as to when your figure is going to arrive or when a new figure is being revealed. On top of that, create yourself an account because you never know when he might have a new figure that's actually or a discount on figures, when he basically may have no NRD. You never know. But the only way that you will know is when you sign up. That's what you want to do. What you need to do. Sign up. Make sure you become a member of his page, of his of his store. Tell him I sent you. He'll definitely take care of you as he always does. Also, got to give a super duper shout out to my man Ray over there at Hawk Wars Toys. This is Hawk Wars Ray. I'm telling you, the gifted one, making sure that we have everything that we need to proceed as he always does. Ray always comes with it. Make sure that we have not only a nice little care package, not only do we get the figure choice, stickers, comic books, he makes sure that you have everything. On top of that, you got to get one of these because I got mine. You got to get your own. But definitely, that's proof of them stickers. But definitely give him a shout out because, again, if you're looking for those grail pieces, he got it. Everything that you need, he has it. So you want to hit him up. Make sure that you tell him I sent you over there. He'll definitely take care of you as he always does because Ray is a solid dude. It's my bro. Love him. Always making sure that we have everything that we need. Also got to give a super duper shout out to my man Jacob over there at Comic Relief Comic Collectibles. Now, again, it's not all just about the figures, but you get physical media. You get comics. So it's not only just basically the 1/6 scale, quarter scale, 1/6 scale, anything you're looking for. He got your back when it comes to source material behind the figures that you are actually collecting. So you want to head on over there, tell him I sent you. He'll definitely make sure you have everything that you need. Last but not least, got to give a super duper shout out to my man Brian Wong over there at Mod Case, Mod Space. If you're looking for an incredible piece or display option, hit him up. I got the mono, but he has different display options that you might appreciate. So definitely want to give you a super duper shout out. As always, man, and always making sure that we are taken care of. So again, we are here to talk about Black Panther. Now, the Black Panther mythos, and basically where the character hails from, and when the character was definitely introduced. Now, we already know the backstory. Again, there's enough that goes around the history of the character, where he came from. From Wakanda, a native of Wakanda. Him and his father, T'Chaka, his sister Shuri. But do you know when and where these particular figures and these characters made their first appearance? Now, first and foremost, got to bring this up. Black Panther made his first appearance in the Fantastic Four book itself, introducing the sensational Black Panther. Now, again, that's the first appearance that we actually got a chance to see him. And yes, he manhandled them all, showing who he basically was, but was there for a reason. If you hadn't read the book, you need to pick this up. It's definitely a classic. It is a grail piece to have in your collection. Now, Shuri herself, Killmonger, Eric Killmonger, made his first appearance in pretty much back in the day. We always talk about back in the day, and these are, if you look at how old these comics are, this is like the insert on the books when you got it. But this is Jungle Action featuring Black Panther and the first introduction of Killmonger. Now, storyline behind this particular character goes the same. There's nothing that changed. He did basically graduate from MIT. His name is T'Chaka. Again, if you know history of his character, his family was slaughtered. he didn't basically vow vengeance, but at the same time, he gained a level of intelligence by attending MIT. And then he also basically continued to study in New York, which then he devised his plan on getting revenge at that particular point. Now, it's a lot behind the character, history behind the character, but definitely the richness in it. This is the book you want to definitely take a look at. Again, this is a precursor to what we would actually see, a long-standing feud between Eric Killmonger, and T'Challa himself. And then also, last but not least, let's talk about Shuri. Because she's definitely worth talking about. Shuri's first official appearance, one of her appearances was Black Panther #2. Again, Marvel Knights is when basically she was more prevalent, in which after these particular books, she saw her brother get injured and she picks up the mantle of Black Panther. Now, again, there's a lot behind Shuri as a character, and people who basically saw the film. And if you did not think that she basically deserved a place in the cinematic universe, and if you didn't know anything about the history of the character, a lot of people always hike this. I've seen this argument time and time again. But yes, Shuri was the Panther, and she did become the Panther, and it was in the books, for a long period of time. It's just that, like I said, the credit given to these particular books, and when she basically picked up the mantle, has always changed. People, they want to push the goalposts a bit further instead of doing the actual history and knowing the history of the character and when she became the Panther. But yes, she did pick up the mantle of the Black Panther. This did happen. She had her own, initial run in the comics. But again, very important character, very incredible character. And intelligence. Now, here's the thing, is like they kind of bend the rules a tad bit when it comes to the story, because again, yes, very intelligent character she is, but she learned a lot, and everything we got of this particular character came from her brother, which was T'Challa. So again, there's history, long-term history behind these particular characters, but more so the importance of having them in the cinematic universe. But beyond the cinematic universe, having them in our collection. Again, these are some Grail pieces that, figures that we wanted for the longest time. And I'm so glad. And I look, I know you might be jealous, but I have them all, because again, it was just too much for me not to basically have it. Starting out, come on, man. If you don't have this figure in your collection, if you don't have this piece in your collection, I don't know what else to tell you, because it was definitely his first official appearance in the cinematic universe. The first suit that we got from T'Challa, beautifully portrayed by the late great Chadwick Boseman. May he rest in peace. But he got a chance to see this character on screen for the first time, and man, he gave it to us. He gave us everything that we actually needed from his portrayal. There was a second edition. I didn't want to actually pull that one up. That suit was, this right here is the classic suit. This is the suit that I wanted to bring up, because this was a 2.0 that we actually got here a few years back. But again, if you have it, the importance of actually having this. And I have that throne too. Shout out to my baby Latoya T for getting me that. But again, it's important, and this character has rich history within the lore. And again, we wanted to see more imagery and more characters that look like us and that portrayed and representing us on screen, but also in the collection. So I'm happy to have this piece in my collection as always. Moving on. Now, here's the thing. I want to kind of skip, because this was like one of this right here. If you got a chance to get this was a Toy Fair exclusive. I jumped on it as soon as it was available. As soon as this piece became available, I jumped on it. It was just a no-brainer. T'Chaka himself, which was T'Challa's father. And again, you already know it. The ritual god, come on, all this is incredible, man. Like, look at that, man. African garb, the gold hue trimming around his actual suit itself, vibranium. It was even though we only got a chance to see this character on screen for all of 30, maybe about a couple minutes. Still, when they decided to release this suit, I was like, oh, they are really, really doing it. And I jumped on it. I actually got this suit way before it was the first suit that I got. I missed the Civil War version, managed to get the 2.0, but I missed the Civil War version when that officially dropped. And then I picked this one up. I was like, you know what? I will not miss out on this one. So glad to have it. Again, if you got a chance to get it, I know you're excited about this piece just as much as I am. Then after that, come on, man. Well, listen, this was probably one of the last of the line. Now, we did basically get the Shuri, and I would have brought that one up, but I wanted to talk about the Panther version of it. Now, this is the Eric Killmonger donning the actual Panther suit. Now, listen, man, on screen, and Hot Toys showed out with this. The head sculpt on this was phenomenal. The suit was phenomenal. It looks incredible. And I am so glad that I actually have it in my collection. But it was a long wait. We waited for a while before we actually got this piece in. And they had to do some retooling. The first time that we got a chance to see it, a lot of people weren't happy. They went back to the drawing board. They retooled it. And this was the outcome. And it looks great. Again, as you see from the pictures, the head sculpt was a bonus. Like, they really killed that. It looks just like Michael B. Jordan, one of the best head sculpts that we actually seen. If they give us a 2.0, I know they're going to kill it even more. Don't know if they're going to do that. But again, this was a one-off, I believe. We'll probably never see it again. So if you have it, you already know that you got a Grell piece. You have a Grell piece in your collection. Now, here's the thing, because one of the premier characters from this film was also Okoye. We talked about this, numerous times. It's been an ongoing, conversation. Would we ever see an Okoye? I don't know. I really, really don't know. I don't know why they've decided that, they wanted to skip on that figure. It's a bummer. Hopefully down the line that we actually get it, since we're getting, the Wakanda animated series itself. Hopefully we'll actually see it. Well, I know we'll see her more in Black Panther 3. And maybe Secret Wars, or who knows, we'll get a chance to see her again. I can't wait. But yeah, it's a character that they missed out on. I wish they would have stood on that and just said, you know what, we'll just do it, just to see, because the conversation has been out there and there's a lot of people that want it. Contrary to what a lot of people may believe, those naysayers who say she wouldn't sell, you never know until they put her out. So I'm not trying to hear that. You already know what it is. But definitely, this figure it was incredible. This is an incredible piece that Eric Killmonger dropped. And the photos on this, look at that, man. This looks incredible. Kendar killed it with this piece. He did a phenomenal job with this piece. But definitely incredible, man. And it stands up. I have it. I've had it for a few years and it stands up. It's incredible. Moving on from this one, though. Now, we got Wakanda Forever. Now, we thought that, from Wakanda Forever, with the amount of figures that dropped in that film, we thought there was a possibility we might get an Okoye. We didn't. We thought that we would, possibly get a Namor. We didn't. M'Baku. We didn't. Ramonda, we didn't. You know what I mean? So it's I don't know. I even thought that we were going to get an Ironheart, Riri Williams. We didn't. So it is what it is. But we did get Shuri as the Black Panther. And again, sticking with the lore, I think they did a bang up job. Letitia Wright, she played a incredible part, and she did what she needed to do, and I think she was incredible at it. This figure looks phenomenal. I have it. I had to get me one and Toya one. She wouldn't get one without me, but you already know. Yeah, definitely an incredible piece to have in your collection. The illuminated suit itself, so definitely it does illuminate. You know what? I didn't even try mine yet, but I know it illuminates. I can use the same lights that I used with my original Black Panther suit. Would have been incredible. So, but no, this is phenomenal. Definitely a beautiful piece. One that you would want to have if you are a Black Panther fan. I think they nailed this. They did such an incredible job. I just wish, like I said, there were so many different characters in there, and I thought they would have brought in. And we do know that there are rumors that they're going to give us another Black Panther in Black Panther 3. We just have to wait and see. I would love to basically see Letitia play it one more time, because I think she did an incredible job. But I guess they're basically going to do retooling, and they're going to introduce a new T'Challa. But you know what? Hats off to Letitia. She did an incredible job, and this is a phenomenal looking figure. Look at that, man. That's incredible. I don't care what nobody says. That looks good. The suit looks good. The head sculpt is on point. It looks just like Letitia. Same height. everything about it. It does come with the boat, like the staff itself, you get that. So it's incredible. But the reason why I'm bringing all this up, because like I said, I mean, and you already know I keep these corner episodes short, is because it's important, that, for the culture itself to talk about these figures that have an influence, a positive influence. And if you're a collector right there, and that collector that's been, or even a new collector, some of us that have been aged, that we have been here tenured more, your traditional, collectors itself, but then you have the new collectors that have come along, like my kids, they want to see representation in my collection of them. And I think they did a good job at this, and I think that they should still push the narrative towards giving us more figures that look like us, that represent who we are. And I'm glad to see it, no matter what nationality, whether you're Asian, Hispanic, Indian, Native American, it's important that we see ourselves on screen. It's important that we see that level of representation. And I think Black Panther stood for that. The first film that dropped made $1 billion. Second film almost reached it. It didn't make that much. There were certain hangups coming out of the pandemic, also coming off the death of Chadwick Boseman. There was a lot going against it. It wasn't really accepted as much. There were a lot of rewrites, we know, but again, what was done, they did a bang up job on the film. You know what I mean? It was a bang up job on this film, and I think they killed it. So again, when it comes to inclusion, I think they killed it. They gave us everything that we actually needed from this line. I'm extremely happy and proud to see and have these figures in my collection, and I think you should too. But then if you want to know the history about it, the comics are actually out there. I gave you a couple of books that you can actually take a look at, just to get yourself more familiar with the backstory on these characters and why they are important, the importance of having them in our collection, and also celebrating these characters, because again, it's not enough. I mean, especially times the way they are right now, it's good to have, or to be able to celebrate these characters and come together, first and foremost, and experience these characters in our collection, to feel that connective tissue and that connectivity. Sorry, I had the wrong screen in the back. But to have that connective tissue to, our history, and, to see ourselves, as heroes on screen, as those who are willing to sacrifice their lives, and also just to show that we are powerful, that we do have a place. And I'm glad that Hot Toys took a chance with this. I give them slack sometimes. I'm like, yo, give us more, but at least they gave us this. And hopefully we will see more in the future. I don't know. We just have to wait and see. But again, shout out to Wakanda Forever. Shout out to Letitia Wright. Shout out to my man, Michael B. Jordan. Shout out to the late, great Chadwick Boseman for an amazing performance in Black Panther, and then also Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Again, if you don't have these figures in your collection, you know where to get them, whether it is Underground Figures, whether it is Hawkwarts Toys, whether it's Comic Relief, Comic Collectibles. You have your places where, or if you can't find them there's other places that you can actually get them. But if you really want them that bad enough, you'll search them out. But again, thank you guys. I just, again, wanted to kind of dip in and have this like a short conversation about the historical facts of these particular characters. Thank you to Stan Lee, and Marvel for basically introducing these characters and having a chance, having the balls to say, you know what, there needs to be representation out there, and let us be the first to usher it in. Let us be the first to give these characters a chance. And I'm glad that they did. I'm definitely glad that they did. So thank you for that. And hopefully we'll see more. We have a chance to see more historically, and I hope we will. So anyway, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know down in the comments below if you have these characters. Which version is the best character in your collection? Do you have the Killmonger? Do you have the Black Panther Civil War suit? Do you have a standalone suit, which I do have? I should have brought that one up, but I didn't. Do you have Shuri? Do you have T'Chaka? Do you want to see more characters from this line? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Again, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification so you're always up to date as to what we got going on over here on the channel. I am your host, Lael Rockwell, for the 1/6 Scale Man YouTube channel, and this has been another episode of The Corner. We are out. Peace.